Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2019 Mazda CX-9. Let's take a look. So it's a little bit dirty, but this is the brand new 2019 Mazda CX-9. Not that much different than the 2018 CX-9. The big difference this year, I guess, is they added Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This is the first model for Mazda to have this new system built into their already existing system. And I guess if you have a previous generation Mazda, depending on the model and the year, you will be able to upgrade to get that Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I don't think the details have been released yet, but they should be soon on that. This vehicle here, powered by a 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder, pretty big vehicle. It is 7-passenger, really probably 6-passenger, but you can probably squeeze 7 in there. It is, even though it's big, it still moves pretty good. It's got a 6-speed automatic transmission. This one here is almost 54,000. It's 53,600. It's a signature edition, all-wheel drive. Power tailgate. Hit that, pop that up. And it's got some mats here as well to keep it clean back here. These rear seats, they fold with these handles. This kind of got all bunched up when I tried to fold it earlier. There's some storage underneath here as well, and even each side here has a little bit more storage in it. You can kind of hide some stuff, get rid of some stuff, and then it gives you a flat floor. They pull up pretty easily, and then you pull up the headrest. And I'll leave these up, and then I'll hop in to the back so you can kind of see them. See how much room there is back there. With the rubber mats, it's actually kind of a pain. Without the rubber mats, it's fine. Because then the rubber mat you've got to kind of jam it up there. If you got something on there, I guess it wouldn't be a problem. It's still pretty good cargo space, even with that row up, actually. Even in some bigger vehicles, you don't have that much space. So let's head around to the back. You'll see how you get in there. Not the most convenient thing in the world, but you pull this on the back seat, and that'll lean this forward so you can hop in there. And you can hop back here and then pull that back and then have zero leg room. But those seats actually do move fore and aft, so you do have a little bit of leg room as long as the people in the second row don't try to squish you. So let's hop out of there because it's not easy. So as you can see here, these seats do roll forward and back, so you can give your backseat passengers some leg room, but then you're minimizing your leg room, of course. And this also folds flat so that you can have cargo flat all the way down to the back there. Hop in the back seat. It's quite comfortable and quite spacious back here. If you don't include that other row, you've got some USB ports for charging some devices in the armrest, as well as some cup holders, and again, there's your middle seat. You've got climate control in the back as well as heated seats on the outboard seats, which is pretty nice. Some mat pockets, double mat pockets. Fancy. 4 mat pockets. Look at that. There is a sunroof, but it's a regular sunroof, not panoramic on this one. Some reading lights back here as well. And, kind of nicely finished. It also has this shade, so you can shade your back seat passengers if you'd like. And let's take a look at the front here. This is your, the new kind of Mazda design with the control for the nav system and that down here, and your HVAC up there. And then it's got a head-up display. This is a feature that's listed, borderless mirror, which is kind of cool. And This is kind of cool, a dual split center armrest here with storage. And plug your phone in here for your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and I'll go over that in a second as well. So let's go up front and do that. So I started up here, you see this Mazda logo. It takes quite a bit, well, I don't know about quite a bit, but it takes a little bit of time for that to boot up. I'm going to turn down the fan here. There we go. It does have dual zone automatic climate control. It's got heated seats as well as ventilated seats. So there's your ventilated / cooled seats, and it's got heated seats and a heated steering wheel. It shows you second and third row seat belts here. So you can see if your passengers have their seat belts on. It's got a sport mode button. And then it's got electronic parking brake. It's got kind of wood trim around here and on the door panels there. And this is like a faux leather that matches the brown leather seats. Not quite exactly the same color, but that's what it is. I believe this is kind of new as well. The display here is a little bit different. Pretty granular on the temperature gauge, which is interesting. Usually you just get hot and cold or high and low. This one's got temperatures actually listed on it. You got your trip in here, your trip amount to empty, and your fuel economy averaging 11.2. I believe the ratings on this are 11.1 city and 9.1 or something like that in the highway. It's been very, very cold, so I haven't been doing so great. You can see it's 3 degrees Celsius right now, but it was like minus 20 yesterday. So you can switch between miles an hour and kilometers an hour with this button here. So you see how that kind of, it even clicks, instantly changes. So we can go 260 kilometers an hour or 160 miles an hour apparently. Attack on the left, and you can flip through with the info button here. You can flip through some of these screens, and you can see the trip screen in that and different settings as well in there. There is a head-up display. It's on the snow. Not sure if it'll pick up, but there it is. And automatic headlights and automatic wipers in that, as well as a rear intermittent wiper. So you've got buttons on the left-hand side. It's got lane departure assist and parking assist and camera view, and the button to pop open the rear hatch. Now if I press this parking assist button, you do get a 360 view of the car and backup camera, so that's pretty cool. A lot of people like that. I'm going to put this in drive. We're just going to move forward slow, and you'll see there's lines that show you where the front tires are going and your kind of trajectory on the side of the car as well as the back of the car here. So if you really don't know how to drive, this helps you out. I don't know why people need this, but there you go. If you can't drive, you've got a view for that. Now, I will show you the Android Auto. So this is your Mazda system. You can go into communication, you can go into the nav system. So there's the nav system. You can see that's different than the Android one. Now if you hold the home button for a bit, it'll come up, and there we go, and you've got your Android Auto. I got a message, look at that, and you can reply to it instantly here. You can click I'm driving now, so you don't have to actually reply to it. And you can click on the weather, and you can see the weather here, and you can, if you push this down, that'll bring you to the bottom bar, and you can go over to your nav. And apparently this will use whatever nav you have set up. I just plugged it in, I haven't set it up. So this uses, right now it's using of course the default, which is Google Maps, and you can zoom in and out of that. Look at that. And this actually works incredibly well. It's like it's built right into the system, and I like this better than the built-in system, if I'm completely honest. Now if I put it in park, I should be able to. No, you can't touch screen in the Android Auto. That's interesting. So you can't touch screen in the Android Auto, but I know you can touch screen on the regular HMD whenever you're in the regular Mazda mode. Now, the other thing you can do is you can use the volume, the assistant right from the steering wheel. send a message in Hangouts.
Who do you want to message?
Cancel.
Okay, no problem.
See, so it picks up the Google right away with that message. Now, if I hold this home button again, it'll send me right back to the Mazda system, which, as I said, if we go home, this is a touchscreen, you see. It just isn't in the other system. And now if I hit that button, it sends you back to Google. So that's interesting. So if you have the Google system on, it'll send you right back to that. What else is there? So that's kind of the new thing in this model. If you've got an iPhone, of course, it'll do the iPhone interface. It's got radar cruise control on here as well. It's got home link buttons on the mirror here, and it's got visors with lights. It's pretty well decked out. I mean, it better be for $53,000, I guess. So this is what it has. Let's go take it for a drive and see what it's like. The cool thing about this system is you've got your home button, you've got your music button. Well, actually, that brings you right back to the radio. But if you hit the nav button on the bottom here, it'll also... No, it didn't bring it to me. So if you're in the music, it doesn't bring you back to the nav. But if I hit home, hold home, which will bring me to Google system, and then I hit the nav button, it brings me to the nav. So it's somewhat well integrated into this one. Now, the thing you'll notice on the road with this car, a little bit noisy on acceleration. Actually, quite a bit noisy. That's because you've got a small 2.5 liter, four-cylinder engine, turbocharged, of course. Once you're up to speed, though, it's smooth and quiet. RPMs drop pretty low, and I think there's 310 pound-feet of torque, so a ton of torque to move this weight, and not a ton of horsepower. I think it's 220 something, 227, I think I read on this one. So to get up to speed, it's a little bit noisy. Once you're up to speed, it's fine. Road noise, Mazda's not usually the best for road noise, but they've definitely upped their game again. This vehicle is pretty darn quiet in terms of road noise, suspension noise. There's a tiny bit under harsh bumps like train tracks and that, but other than that, pretty darn good. It is a pretty quiet car, depending on what you're coming from, I guess. If you're coming from a top-end luxury vehicle, you may not find it all that quiet, but if you're coming from cars in this market, it's pretty darn quiet as well. So there we have it, the 2019 Mazda CX-9. All-wheel drive, large SUV, 7-passenger, tons of space inside, actually. Drives like a car. It's not a really, really big SUV, but it's got a good amount of space in it, and it gives you that 7-passenger without being a massive kind of blocky SUV, which is supposed to make it pretty fuel efficient, and it is very quiet on the road. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.